Okay, so the first day stuff here, guys, just kind of policies for the classroom, pieces of advice, where you find stuff, how things are going to work. Okay. First and foremost, the most important thing, if you want to be successful in Science 10 or any course in the school, is attendance. You need to be here. Okay. Not being here is a problem because you will miss stuff. Okay. There's of course all kinds of stuff that you can do if you're not here, but it's not the same as being here. Okay? Being here is best. So make sure that you are here. Okay? And if you are absent, okay, you are responsible for anything done in class the day or days you are not here. Every day I will post on Google Classroom what we do as well as a recording of the class. Okay? That's what I'm doing right now. I'm recording what I'm saying to you right now. Okay? And so every day I post that to YouTube, and then I just link it to the Google Classroom. So if you're not here, you'll need to watch and listen. Okay, everything that gets on that's on the smart board, you will see in the video. Okay, and you'll be able to follow along with what we did. That includes if we do a lab. Okay, the labs all have the observations recorded. Okay, if you're not here, the expectation is that you will be caught up when you get back. All right, so make sure that that happens. Okay. The other thing with attendance, okay, now that people are allowed to travel again and people are going on vacations and things like that, I need to advise you of when vacations occur. Christmas and Easter are when vacations should occur. Okay? If you and your family are deciding to take off for like 2 weeks, or God forbid more than that, okay, I gotta tell you, that's a terrible idea. Okay? And you need to be here. If you're going on vacation, I will expect that when you come back, you are caught up because I've put everything out there for you to do. Okay? It's just really, really hard to, if you miss 10 classes, okay, to come back and go, oh, well, I'll just hit the ground running and I'll be okay. Probably not. Okay? You need to be here. It's really important. Okay? And the other part of that is, while you're away, if something comes due, it's due for you. I expect it to be submitted by you. Okay, even if you're on vacation, which kind of sucks because you're on vacation and I'm making you do work anyway. So you might as well just be here. It's just easier that way. Okay, so you can use the podcast, that's the recordings of the class, Google Classroom, okay, to stay up to date. Lates, all right, so obviously today is kind of an exception because you're finding your way around, come in a little bit late today, not a big deal. From going forward, class begins for period 1, 8:35. That means be in here, ready to go before 8:35, okay, because we're going to get going right away. If you are late, you will find the door in the closed position. Stay on the other side of it. Don't knock. I don't want you to disrupt the class because you couldn't get here on time. Okay, you can stay where I can see you in the window, and when it is appropriate, I will let you in. I will just wave you in at that point. Okay, but don't knock, don't make faces. Okay, just wait out there and I'll let you in. Okay. All right, so the resources available to you. First off, we have Google Classroom, which I am assuming you are all familiar with.
Yep.
Okay. Now, in Google Classroom, this, obviously the stream is where I'm going to post everything, recordings for the day, all of that stuff. When a lab gets posted, it'll be in there. Okay. Anything that's coming due, okay, will be posted in the class work tab for right now. If you've signed in, probably the only 2 things you can see are the worksheet packages and other materials and the notes packages organized by unit. Okay, so if you are in there, okay, you will see various things in there. Okay, the worksheet package for chemistry, for global systems, for physics, etc. Okay, and the notes packages, same deal. All right, now what you need for this class is the notes packages. Okay, and the worksheets. You don't have to print those. Okay? In fact, if you want to save some trees, I'm totally okay with that. Okay, I'm fine if you have the notes package on your phone. Okay, and if you've got your phone out and you're reading through the notes, that's totally fine with me while I'm teaching it. Okay, in fact, each one of you has your own file of the notes. It'll say your name and then chemistry notes package. Right? That way you can modify it, add to it, highlight in it, do whatever you need to do electronically, okay, and save trees and always have it, okay? Because otherwise people are like, oh, I left my textbook at home, I left my notes at home, I can't find it, I lost my binder. You can't lose this, okay? It's in the cloud, it'll always be there. all right? So make sure you have access to it in some form. If you want a paper copy of it, by all means, go home and print it. I wouldn't print it in color, okay? You'll have one of those cartridge conniptions like Shaq shows on TV, okay? You'll go through a lot of color ink if you do that, okay? I just print it in black and white if it were me. Then you can have the paper copy totally fine. I would say for the worksheets though, those you should probably have printed on paper, okay? It's much easier to go through the worksheet physically, okay, than to do it electronically, especially on your phone. I know you guys are like really good at that and you have incredible dexterity, but okay, it's probably easier to do it pen, pencil, right? So have at least at the bare minimum for tomorrow, the chemistry notes ready to go in whatever form you choose, okay? And the worksheet package printed for chemistry, okay? Just for chemistry, you don't need to print the rest. We're not going to be into biology till after Thanksgiving. Okay?
Can you bring in like a computer to read your notes?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to have a tablet or a Chromebook or laptop, whatever, okay, whatever means is best for you is great. Okay, this is about your learning, so whatever you are comfortable with, I'm good with. Okay, so yeah, if you want to have that on your phone, that's totally cool. I'm okay with that. The phone is a tool. Okay, and as long as you're using it as such and not, TikToking or Snapchatting or whatever it is you guys do, okay, that's totally fine, okay? So you'll need to have those, like I said, just the chemistry notes in whatever form you want and the chemistry workbook, okay, printed, right, as soon as possible, right? In terms of other supplies that you would need for this class, pen, paper, calculator, okay? And it needs to be a scientific calculator, right, because we do some square roots and exponents and things like that, so you gotta have a scientific calculator. You don't need, if you don't have math this semester, you don't have to splurge and get the TI, whatever number we're on, okay, big graphing thing for science. You'll need it for math, but you don't need it for science, so if you just wanna go and get the, $11 scientific job. I think those cost me like $8.99 last year at Walmart. Okay, like that's all you need, that'll do the job, okay, for science. Math, they're elitist, they want the fancy ones. Okay. All right, and that's it. That's really all you need for this class. You don't need like rulers or anything like that, just calculator, pen, paper. All right, and then, like I said, the recordings will be posted in Google Classroom every day, okay? But the YouTube channel they get posted to is this one. You probably won't ever need to go here for anything because, like I say, it'll be automatically linked each day. But in case you're looking to, catch up or something like that, there's playlists for Science 10. Okay, there's all that stuff. So it's all in there, okay? And you can access whatever you need, but mostly from Google Classroom. That's just easier. Okay, questions so far? All right. So you got your Google Classroom, you got your podcasts there, okay? You got the join code, okay? So like I said, the worst thing you can do, guys, is be gone for a couple days and come back and go, Mr. Coderre, what did I miss? Because I'll say a lot, and then I will walk away, okay? Because you should know already what you missed. Okay. All right, classroom behavioral norms, okay, this is just, how we treat each other, okay, in the classroom, okay, respect is the key. I will always treat you with respect, okay. I know, lots of people deal with anxiety. I'm one of them, okay. If you're ever anxious or nervous or anything like that, I get it, I understand it, okay. I live it too, so, I'm gonna treat you with respect. You don't have to worry about me embarrassing you, okay, in front of everybody or anything like that. I'm not gonna do that, but I would expect that you also are mindful of that with your classmates, okay. We don't always know what everybody brings with them to school, okay, so just be mindful. If I say listen up, that means I need your attention. So usually it's the first thing, right after the morning exercise. I'm like, listen up guys, this is what we're doing today, okay? Or listen up guys, I wanna go over this question, or listen up, there's a mistake in the notes, or listen up, the building's on fire and we need to go now, okay? But if I say listen up, I need your full and undivided attention up here, okay? All right, class work. So there's two different kinds of work that you're gonna get in my class, okay? There is the practice work. That stuff's not going to come in for marks. So the stuff that's in the worksheet booklets, I'm never going to mark that stuff. Okay, that's for you to practice your skills, okay, get good at doing things, come and see me for help if you need it, okay, that kind of stuff. That stuff I'm not gonna check, okay? The other kind of work is the stuff that is gonna contribute to your final grade, all right? That stuff has to be submitted and has to be submitted on time. That would be things like lab reports, research projects, other types of assignments, in-class activities, things like that, okay? Those all need to come in, all right? And quizzes as well, all right? So, I don't assign anything just to keep you busy. Okay, if I say I need you working on this stuff, that means you need to work on it and you need to finish it, okay, so that you get good at it, all right? And then obviously lab reports and things like that are contributing to your grade. If you don't do those, then that really negatively affects your mark, okay? So some will be checked and some will not, okay? All, however, should be completed. You are responsible for your own academic success. If I find you're not completing your work, okay, then you'll spend your lunch hours or nighttime, which is our kind of scheduled help that happens at the end of period 3, okay, with me getting those things completed, okay? I will still chase people down, okay? I know you're in high school and sometimes people say, I'm not gonna chase you because you're in high school. I'm still gonna chase you, okay? Because I want you to get your work done and do as well as possible. Okay, so make sure that you're getting that stuff done so I don't have to chase you, because if I do, it usually involves me calling home and saying, little Johnny or little Janie's really struggling getting their work done for me and they're kind of behind and their mark is suffering. And so I'm gonna start bringing them in at lunch, and you know what parents' response to that is? Like almost universally, what can I do to help you, Mr. Coderre? You don't want them to ask me that. Okay, because then you're going to be looking at like 4 gray walls, bread and water, keys taken away, Xbox controller disappears, okay, stuff like that. It's all bad for you. It doesn't affect me at all, but okay, I don't want that for you, so let's not go down that road. Okay, for exams, this often comes up. Okay, there are no rewrites. You're in high school now. Okay, I don't give rewrites on tests for this reason. You can come and see me any day of the week, okay? I have help before school, I have help at lunch, and I give help after school as well, okay? If you've got questions or you're struggling with something, you can come and see me, okay? Plus, we also have that nighttime scheduled help part that goes in after period 3. You have all kinds of opportunities to come in and see me and ask questions. I have no life, okay? I am here always, so come and see me, okay? And I will help you out. All right, so there's no excuse to be like the night before the test, oh crap, I don't know how to do this. Well, that's an issue, okay, not an ish-me. All right, you gotta come and see me before that. All right, so if you achieve a mark of less than 50% on an exam, okay, then I'm gonna have you come in and I'm gonna have you see me and we're gonna work on some stuff. And then we can see what we can do about your mark, but there's no blanket, oh, here's just another test, write it. No, I don't do that, okay? All right, fairness versus equality. I will always try to be fair to everyone, but that does not mean that things will always be equal, okay? Those terms mean different things, okay? So 2 people may have the same problem, an assignment not being handed in, however the circumstances as to why may be very different. So in being fair, one student may be given an extension while other is not because of the reasons involved, okay? And that may not always be equal, but it is fair. I always try to be as fair as possible. If you ever feel I haven't been, you can come and call me on it, okay? I'm totally okay with that. And sometimes I won't be able to explain to you why I made that decision, because it would involve another student who's just in a different situation, and that may just be all I can say, okay? But know that I would never cheat somebody out of something, okay? So I'll give you kind of an example here. About 12 years ago, before Google Classroom, and we still handed stuff in on paper, I had the class come up and they were all handing in this lab report assignment, something. And the last 2 people in line didn't have it done. The first guy comes up and he's like, yeah, Coderre, I didn't get it done. I'm like, Thomas, for God's sake, this is like the 10th time, dude. Okay, like, how come this time? Well, I left it till last night, and then the season finale of my favorite show was on, and I watched it, and it was boring, and I fell asleep. I don't have it done. I mean, the guy was brutally honest with me every single time he didn't have something done. He never tried to make up a story as to why. He was brutally honest, to his credit. I was like, well, that's Thomas, you're gonna take a late penalty on this one as well. Like, you're coming in tomorrow and get it done at lunch or whatever. And that was the end of it. The person behind him I thought was gonna fall over. Like, she was pale to the point of being literally green, okay? And she looked like she would have to get better to die, Okay, that's how sick she looked. Okay, and I'm like, Raylan, what's going on? She's like, because this is a person who always had their stuff done, always. And she said to me, well, Mr. Cooder, last night, you know, I had most of it done, but I was gonna finish the rest of it last night, and my parents had this huge fight, and they stormed out of the house, and I was left to make supper for my 3 sisters, and I didn't cook the chicken enough, and we all got sick, and we spent the whole night throwing up, and I don't have my work done. Okay, now, I gave her an extension, okay? Those were circumstances beyond her control. Now, I was still a bit of a jerk, because I did point out that if you leave something till the last minute, that is when calamity strikes, okay? Calamity knows when you're least prepared and chooses then to strike, okay? But, okay, she had, I thought, extenuating circumstances and a record of getting stuff done on time, okay? Now, if you ever feel I haven't been fair, like I said, you can call me out, okay? All right, and then accountability. High school is the start of real life, so due dates and timelines are part of your reality, so you are expected and required to hand in material on time and be responsible for your actions. I give plenty of time for assignments to be completed. Therefore, there are very few excuses that I will accept for not handing in material on time. Okay, in real life, you have to be on time and get your work done, and the same goes for you here. All right, so the quickest turnaround you would ever have for an assignment in my class would be 2 school days, and I can't remember the last time I made it that short. Okay, most of the time it's going to be at least 3 or 4 school days, and if it's 3 or 4, chances are there's also a weekend in between those. All right, so you're going to have plenty of time to work on it, work on your time management, okay, because I know that's an important skill and we're still working on that as grade 10s. Okay, so plan when you're going to work on it. It also gives you time to come in and see me for help if you have questions, okay, stuff like that. So I'm never going to say, oh, here's this 6-hour assignment due tomorrow. Okay, that's not fair. Okay, that's totally not fair, and I would never do that. Okay, so don't expect that I will ever say this is due tomorrow if I assign it that particular day. Okay, I won't do that. So you'll always have lots of time to get it done. Okay, so for the assessment and evaluation, okay, first thing is I can't talk about your mark with you in front of everybody else. Okay, so if you come up to my desk and, Mr. Cooder, I don't understand why I got this mark, I'll have to say, I'll talk to you about that after class, okay, or at lunch or something like that, but I can't talk to you in front of the rest of the class, simply because that's a FOIP thing, okay, I'm not supposed to tell people what you got, okay. And make sure, guys, that if you have a question, come up and ask, okay? But also be respectful about it, okay? Because I had a kid one time who he didn't do a very good job on his lab. He didn't get a very good mark, and he came up to my desk in front of everybody else with the paper and went, "That mark sucks!" in front of 30 people. And I'm like, yes, it does. Sit down. It's your mark. Okay, yeah. If you confront me, I gotta win. It's my house here, so that's what's gonna happen. Okay, but if you come up and say, Mr. Cooder, like, I know you went over this lab, and I'm not understanding why I didn't get, full marks on my analysis or my procedure or whatever. I'm totally fine to explain that to you. No problem. Okay. All right. So your marks will be distributed according to the syllabus. I'll go over that here in just a minute. Assignments and labs are to be handed in on time. Late assignments can be handed in, but will be penalized 30%. That penalty applies immediately. Okay? They're either on time or they're late. There's no in between. Okay? Now, the reason that late penalty is so high is because of this. You will always get your stuff back the next day from me. Okay? I have been teaching for 25 years. I have failed to get something back the next day once. Okay? And it was the day that my second son was born. I stand by my decision to hold my wife's hand while she squeezed out our kid, okay, as opposed to marking labs. It was the right decision. I would make it again, okay, but I didn't get the labs done for the next day. But I did have them ready the day after that, okay? But know that I will always get your stuff back to you the next day, okay? So if your stuff has to be done on time and I'm giving you 4 or 5 days to do it, only giving myself 1 day, okay? you guys can get it done on time. All right, and then all assignments and labs are due, if they're coming in on Google Classroom, are due 8:30 a.m. on the due date, okay? If it's being handed in on paper, then I'll call for it at the beginning of class, okay? But there's not too many things you're gonna hand in to me on paper. Okay? Pretty much everything will be through Google Classroom. All right, questions on that? Okay, so the course syllabus goes as follows. We have 4 units in Science 10, okay? Unit 1 is energy and matter in chemical change. We call that chemistry for short. Okay, so that will be going over naming compounds, properties of matter, okay, chemical reactions, writing chemical reactions, the mole equation, the concept of the mole, things like that. It's a pretty long unit. I don't expect us to be done until after Thanksgiving, especially with our late start. Okay, so we will probably be done, I'm thinking like 3rd week of October probably. Okay, that's how long that unit will go. And then after that we have biology, recycling of matter in living systems. So we'll look at cells, cell theory, transport in organisms, functions of parts of the cell and how they work in a whole organism. Okay, microscopy, specialization, multicellularity, okay, all of that kind of stuff. It's a bit of a shorter unit. Okay, usually we have that one done kind of middle-ish of November, okay? And then we have physics after that, which is energy flow and technological systems. Okay, so we look at movement, basic movement, constant velocity, acceleration. We look at energy conversions, work energy theorem, conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, that tends to be the longest unit, and it'll take us right to Christmas. Okay. And then unit 4, energy flow and global systems, is kind of a hodgepodge of everything. There's almost nothing in that unit that continues on into any other course. I have taught it in as few as 4 days. That was that year when we came back and after Christmas you guys got another week off. That year I taught it in 4 days. Okay, so it's short. Okay, we'll do it like in the 2 weeks after Christmas and be done. Okay. All right, so those are our 4 units. Okay, that means you'll have 4 unit exams. They will all be worth the same amount. Okay, and this is your assessment or distribution of your grades here. So your unit exams are 40% of your final mark. So that's 10% apiece. Okay, each time you write a unit exam, it's 10% of your final grade. Your labs, projects, and assignments, the class work is 30% of your final grade. Okay, so those are the things that you can come and see me and ask questions about. Okay, you can work collaboratively, and I caution you on that. Make sure you're working collaboratively and not like you do this one and I'll do that one and we'll just copy each other's, because I'll know. Okay, I want everybody's assignments to be their own. Okay, everyone's has to be unique. Okay, and your quizzes, we haven't talked about those yet, but those are going to be 10% of your final mark. Okay, and then your final exam in January will be 20% of your final mark. All right, the quizzes. You will have a quiz every Tuesday and every Thursday in this class. They're short, 5-10 minutes tops. Okay, so if you do the math on that, if you're having 2 quizzes a week for the entire semester and altogether they add up to 10%, how much is each quiz worth? Practically nothing. Okay, like we're talking less than 0.25% each by the end of the semester. Okay, so you know, if you do poorly on a quiz, not like the end of the world, but it does tell you that you need to work on that, and that's all the quizzes are for. They're simply a review tool. They tell you how well you know the material, they tell me how well you know the material, and then I can decide whether I need to spend another day on something or move on. All right, now the thing about the quizzes is this. I will post a practice quiz Monday at 3:20 and Wednesday at 3:20, okay, for your quizzes. Sometimes the practice quiz is the actual quiz, because sometimes I get lazy or screw up. Okay, so sometimes they are. But they're always worth your while to do. Like I said, they take 5-10 minutes. So you go home, you do 5 or 10 minutes worth of practice quiz, and then the next day you come in and you do well on the real quiz. Okay? And I typically will also post the solutions for those practice quizzes. Okay, so if I post a practice quiz, okay, there'll usually be a YouTube video that goes along, which is basically me going through it and showing you the solution. Okay, so if you got lost on it, couldn't do it yourself, you can look at that and go, oh, right, that was a silly mistake. Okay, or you know, you just want to check your answer. that's totally fine too. Okay, lots of times people do like group chats and stuff to work on the practice quizzes, which is a great idea. Okay, you can totally do that. All right, but they're not long, 5-10 minutes, start a class, okay, and we hand them in. Okay. All right, other things you guys need to know. You will all get a periodic table that looks like this one, probably not today, but tomorrow. Okay, I'll hand those out. And you'll need to hang on to that because it's super important for chemistry. Okay, and on the back of that is your formula sheet, which is super important for chemistry and physics. Okay, so make sure you keep that, and it'll be big. It'll be 11 by 17, so that size. Okay, so you'll want to fold that up, keep it in your binder. Okay, like I said in the back, formulas and constants and the solubility chart and stuff like that. Okay, so everybody will get one of those. Okay. Other questions that usually come up. One really important one. Where do we go in a fire? Okay, so primary fire exit for us is out the back doors over here. So where that stairwell is there, we walk past the stairwell, out those doors to the back parking lot. Okay, that is our primary fire exit. Actually, I think now we actually go to the football field after that. Okay, our secondary fire exit is the front doors. Okay, so we would go past that stairwell and out the front doors of the school. That's our secondary exit. Okay, our tertiary exit is out this end of the school. Okay, the reason that I know that seems like that's a lot closer, but there's 10 classrooms that have to go out that door. Okay, so that's why we don't go out that one. And then our last resort is I throw a chair through the window.
Nice.
I get to throw the chair. Okay, if it comes to that. Okay. Closest bathrooms right outside the door here. Okay, so girls' bathroom, boys' bathroom. Okay, and then the gender neutral bathrooms are down by the gym. Okay, if you need those. But yeah, generally, if you can use the ones that are closest, that would be best. Closest water fountain is just past the boys' bathroom down here. Okay, if you need to get a quick drink. If you're having some anxiety or something like that, and you just need to take like a quick walk or something like that. Okay, I'm okay with that. You can just say, Miss Kearney, go to the bathroom, and then just take your quick walk. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Okay, just don't be gone too long. Kind of take your break and come back. I usually try and give a short break within the class. I don't let people leave for that break, but I give kind of a short break usually within the class at some point as well. Cell phones, obviously, I've already said you can have those out. Okay, you're gonna have your notes on those maybe, or something like that. I'm okay with you having your phone out. Just you're 15, 16 years old. You're old enough to be responsible about its use. Okay, so use it appropriately. Okay, during class. If I'm finding that it's a distraction, okay, like for the first time in like 6 or 7 years, I actually had to take a kid's phone away last year. I can't remember the last time I did that before that. Okay, be responsible, okay, with it. And then, what else? We already talked about you need pens and pencils and a scientific calculator. Can you have food or drink in here? The answer is yes, you can. Okay, obviously, it's first period of the day, so if you're bringing in breakfast, that's fine. My only rule on food and drink is if you make a mess, please clean it up. Okay, if you come in for breakfast with a 2-liter bottle of Coke and a 500-gram bag of Doritos, I will probably lecture you about your nutritional choices. Okay, but yes, you can have food and drink in here. I'm okay with that. Okay. Can I listen to music in this class? Yes, conditionally. Okay, if I'm doing what I'm doing right now, the answer is no. Okay, if you're doing some seat work, working on something out of the worksheet booklet, and you just kind of want to isolate yourself so you can concentrate, I'm totally fine with that. Okay, as long as it's appropriate, I'm okay with you having your headphones in. Okay, but if I'm teaching actively, I don't want to see the earbuds in. Okay. I think that's it. We already talked about the help times. Yeah. Okay. And then the bell schedule, guys. Okay, so period 1 goes till 9:58, and then you have a 7-minute transition. Okay, to your period 2 class. Period 2 goes from 10:05 to 11:25. Then you have lunch. Okay, lunch goes from 11:25 to 12:11, so you get a pretty good lunch, but don't go too far. Okay, people often make the mistake of like, oh, I'm going to go into South Calgary. Don't do that. Okay, you're not going to get back in time. And then you've got period 3 that goes from 12:11 to 1:31, okay? And then you have your scheduled help, or what we call nighttime, okay? 1:34 to 1:54, so 20 minutes. For the first few weeks, nighttime will simply be you stay in your period 3 class, and you stay there for nighttime, and you can work on stuff and whatever. And then after that, you can go to whichever classroom teacher you want to get help from, okay, or whichever teacher you're comfortable being in their classroom, whichever, okay. So you can do that after the first couple of weeks. Okay, you'll be allowed to kind of choose where you're going to be during nighttime. But the intent of nighttime is to give you time to go and see your teachers, take a break, whatever, but have that time there built into the day to get help. Okay, so go and ask questions and things like that. All right, and then period 4 runs from 2 o'clock to 3:20. Okay, so all the periods are around 80 minutes. Okay, and on Fridays the schedule's a bit different. Okay, every period is shortened, and we're done the day at 12:22, and there's no nighttime on Fridays. Okay, because the periods are shortened, so nighttime only happens Monday to Thursday. Okay. All right, questions from you guys?
What are your rules on seating?
So rules on seating will be that today and probably tomorrow you can sit wherever you like, but in order for me to learn people's names most effectively, I generally will put a seating plan in place, but I will try to make it where you have chosen today or tomorrow. Okay, so maybe, find a spot you like tomorrow, and I will probably just plunk everybody down in my plan where they chose. And once I learn everybody's names, then you can move around again after that. Okay, I do have to have some sort of seating plan so that if I'm not here, if I have a sub, I can give them a seating plan so they know who's who. Okay, because some people switch desks and think that's fun. Yeah, it's not. All right, let's then give you guys about a 3-4 minute break here, and then we'll get right into the course material. Okay, if you already joined Google Classroom, you can open up the Google Doc that is the chemistry notes package, okay, and you will see lesson 1 on alchemy and atomic models. Okay, if you don't have that Google account set up, don't worry, everything you need is up here, and we will get it. Okay, we will be.
Can I join with a different email?
You must have an Isidore email, it won't let you in otherwise. Yeah.
Will there be a quiz this Thursday?
Probably, yeah. I probably won't make one, I'll probably just set it up where everyone chooses to sit, so, generally at least that way. Yeah. Very amazing. Okay, I found it. Okay, who needs their username and password? Come on up here. boy, they hit it cleverly. All right, so just one at a time, you guys can come back here.
Mine or do you need?
Yeah.
You have a phone? We're doing this.
Picture of that. I read this answer.
Phone?